Now, this is quite a story from NASA because for the second time in history, a man-made object has left our solar system. NASA is saying the Voyager 2 probe is now in a space between the stars after exiting the sun's protective bubble, which is called the heliosphere.
For over 4 decades, Voyager 2 has ventured deeper into the cosmic abyss, steadily leaving behind the confines of our solar system. Launched in 1977, this resilient spacecraft has traveled farther than any of its predecessors, passing the orbits of Neptune and Uranus, beyond the distant reaches of the outer planets, and far past the last known boundary of our sun's reach, the heliopause. This boundary marks the point where the influence of our sun wanes, giving way to the cold, empty vacuum of interstellar space. For most of its journey, Voyager 2 was the silent emissary of humanity, carrying with it our hopes, dreams, and curiosity about the universe that lies beyond the stars. As Voyager 2 continued its mission, its purpose remained clear: to send data back to Earth, providing insights into the outer edges of our solar system and the mysterious region of interstellar space that exists beyond. Through its instruments, humanity received invaluable information that helped to shape our understanding of space. It returned data about cosmic radiation, magnetic fields, and distant particles, painting a picture of the great unknown. This spacecraft, once a symbol of human ambition and scientific achievement, had become a floating relic in the vast void, sending back data that was, for the most part, relatively routine and expected. However, that all changed when, in the early months of 2025, something unprecedented occurred. Voyager 2, drifting in the cold silence of interstellar space, suddenly altered its course. This was not a random deviation or the result of a mechanical failure. The spacecraft, which had been following its trajectory without interruption, began to shift in a subtle yet unmistakable manner. Its instruments transmitted data that indicated an abrupt and deliberate change in direction. A spacecraft that had been drifting uninterrupted for decades was now responding to something unknown, and in doing so, it sent a wave of shock through the scientific community. What could cause such an event? What could alter the path of an object that had been traveling in one direction for more than 40 years? The answers were neither immediate nor obvious, but the data that followed would send shock waves through humanity's understanding of space, time, and the nature of our place in the universe. Mission controllers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory began receiving telemetry data that indicated irregularities in the spacecraft's readings. What seemed at first to be a fluctuation in cosmic rays or perhaps the result of interference from a nearby star gradually evolved into something much more alarming. Voyager 2's instruments, previously functioning with near perfection, began to show subtle signs of disruption. The cosmic ray measurements became erratic, and the magnetic field data began to fluctuate in ways that couldn't easily be explained by the typical forces of interstellar space. These disturbances, while not immediately alarming, soon led to a more troubling discovery. Voyager 2, which had been gliding along its preordained trajectory, had begun to turn, slowly but surely, against its expected path. The shift was deliberate. It wasn't the result of a malfunction or some technical issue. The thrusters aboard Voyager 2 had not been engaged. Its systems were still functioning as expected, albeit by now old and outdated standards. There was no apparent mechanical fault or system glitch. Instead, it appeared that something had acted upon the spacecraft from the outside. Some external force or influence, something beyond the reaches of normal space phenomena, had compelled Voyager 2 to shift its trajectory. What could cause such a change in the behavior of a spacecraft that had been built to survive the cold, unfeeling reaches of deep space? As the days passed and the data continued to stream in, mission scientists were faced with a puzzle of unprecedented complexity. What was causing the spacecraft to veer off course? It wasn't an accident or a simple malfunction. The movement was too precise, too deliberate to be dismissed as natural interference. It was clear that something had caused Voyager 2 to react. But what? As scientists analyzed the data further, a more disturbing picture began to emerge. Voyager 2's instruments recorded a sudden and unexplained spike in high-energy particles that were far beyond anything expected from normal interstellar radiation. The intensity of the cosmic radiation surged to levels far above the baseline, far higher than anything that could be attributed to the typical forces found in deep space. At the same time, the spacecraft's magnetometer detected a sharp, unnatural distortion in the magnetic field surrounding Voyager 2. This wasn't the usual bending of space caused by cosmic weather or the influence of a distant pulsar. No, what Voyager 2 was encountering was something far more specific, far more concentrated, and much more unnerving. The magnetic distortion was clear, intense, and far too regular to be explained away as cosmic noise. The data revealed repeating, rhythmic fluctuations that suggested the presence of some structure, something engineered and deliberate, lying just beyond the normal background radiation of space. The idea of an artificial phenomenon in space was not something that could be easily accepted. The scientific community hesitated to jump to conclusions. Voyager 2, after all, was 20 billion kilometers from Earth. Signals took over 18 hours to reach the spacecraft, and the data itself could be distorted by interference or the degradation of the probe's instruments. Despite the natural skepticism, the evidence began to mount. This wasn't a random occurrence. It wasn't space weather. It wasn't the random chaos of the cosmos. It was something engineered, something structured, and, most disturbingly, something intentionally hidden just beyond the edge of our solar system. What Voyager 2 had encountered, it seemed, was not merely a natural phenomenon or an unexplained anomaly. It had crossed into a boundary, a kind of threshold, one that humanity had never before known existed. This boundary was not the edge of our solar system. It was something much more deliberate, more ancient, and far more vast. The evidence was undeniable. Voyager 2 had brushed up against a hidden perimeter, a kind of invisible artificial force field stretching across the fabric of interstellar space. This was not a boundary that marked the edge of the solar system. No, this was something else entirely. This was a boundary created, maintained, and perhaps even monitored by some unknown force, an intelligence that had remained hidden from view for eons. The realization that Voyager 2 had encountered such a phenomenon set off a cascade of urgent meetings and debates among the scientific and military communities. The idea that an artificial boundary might exist beyond the solar system was enough to send shockwaves through every institution in the world. But even more alarming was the fact that Voyager 2 had been compelled to change its trajectory, as though it had been warned, or worse, threatened. The implications were staggering. What was the purpose of this boundary? Was it a protective measure? Was it a containment field, or was it something more sinister, a trap, perhaps, waiting for the unwitting to stumble into it? The fact that Voyager 2 had encountered such a boundary, and that it had been compelled to back away, suggested that whatever lay beyond it was far older, far more advanced, and perhaps far more dangerous than anything humanity had ever imagined. As the data continued to pour in, scientists made another chilling discovery. Embedded within the electromagnetic disturbances was a repeating signal, a pulse that arrived every 61.2 seconds. The consistency of this signal was eerie, almost unnatural. When translated into sound, the pulse produced a low, oscillating hum, something almost organic in nature. The tone was haunting, resonant with an ancient, almost alive quality. The repetition of this pulse, combined with its influence on Voyager 2's instruments, suggested that this was not just a random occurrence. This wasn't space noise. This was something more. This was a response. For years, scientists had wondered why, if intelligent life was common in the universe, humanity had never encountered it. The answer, it now seemed, was not silence, but distance. The signal Voyager 2 had encountered may not have been communication in the traditional sense, but it was undeniable. It was a response. The entity or force that had created this boundary had been watching, waiting. And now, Voyager 2 had triggered a reaction, a response to its intrusion. The signal, though cryptic and difficult to decipher, was unmistakable in its regularity. It was intelligent, it was deliberate, and it was not from this world. As the discovery reverberated through scientific and military circles, the implications became ever more unsettling. The reality of an artificial boundary beyond the solar system had once been the realm of science fiction, but now it was a terrifying truth. Voyager 2 had entered this hidden domain and, in doing so, had triggered something much larger than itself. The mystery of the pulse, of the signal, and of the boundary itself only deepened the more scientists tried to understand it. The nature of the technology behind this phenomenon defied everything humanity knew about physics. It appeared to manipulate magnetic fields and space-time on a scale that was beyond comprehension. If this structure was the work of an advanced civilization, then that civilization's technological capabilities far exceeded anything humanity could imagine. And yet, for all its grandeur and advanced technology, Voyager 2's encounter with this boundary left one lingering question. What was its purpose? Was it a containment measure to protect something within the solar system? Or perhaps it was to protect the universe from humanity? The unknown presence watching from just beyond the solar system's edge now knew we were here. Whether it was benevolent, indifferent, or something else entirely remained to be seen. For now, Voyager 2 continues its journey, still sending back data. Its instruments are still reporting the anomaly, albeit at a lesser intensity. It is no longer returning to Earth, its fuel and trajectory will not allow it, but it is moving away from the boundary, retreating in a calculated manner, as if obeying some unseen force. Whatever Voyager 2 encountered, it was not meant to be understood, at least not by us. And yet, the fact that we've encountered something so immense, so deliberate, and so ancient shakes everything humanity has believed about its place in the universe. In the quiet darkness of space, the stars continue to burn, but for those who know the truth, they now shine with a different light, one that carries a warning, a watchful presence that has been waiting just beyond our reach. The universe is no longer the silent, empty void it once seemed to be. It is full of intention, full of mysteries that we are only just beginning to uncover. And Voyager 2, in its lonely journey, may have just opened the first chapter in a new story, one that will force humanity to re-examine its understanding of the cosmos and its place in it. As we stand on the precipice of one of the greatest revelations in human history, Voyager 2's unexpected shift marks more than just a scientific breakthrough. It signifies a profound turning point in humanity's understanding of our place in the vast, infinite universe. For decades we have gazed at the stars, filled with wonder and longing, driven by the age-old question, are we alone? Voyager 2, sent on its solitary mission to the farthest reaches of our solar system, carried with it the collective hopes and curiosity of all humankind. It faithfully transmitted data from the outer planets, expanding our knowledge of the cosmos and unveiling the secrets of interstellar space. But now, in the year 2025, as it encounters an unknown force just beyond the solar system's edge, we are faced with a discovery that challenges the very foundation of what we believed about space, time, and our place in the universe. The implications of Voyager 2's encounter are both awe-inspiring and unsettling. It has touched the periphery of something much larger, much older, and far more deliberate than anything we could have imagined. This is not just a strange anomaly in the cosmos. It is a profound message, perhaps a warning, from a presence or force that lies hidden just beyond our reach. The boundary Voyager 2 has crossed is not merely a physical limit to our solar system. It is a threshold, a line drawn by something far beyond our current understanding. It is a boundary that responds to intrusion, a boundary that has been waiting for us, hidden from view, until the moment we would inevitably cross it. This moment forces us to confront a deeply unsettling truth. The universe may not be the silent, empty void we once thought it to be. Voyager 2's encounter suggests that intelligent life and powerful, intentional forces could exist far beyond our reach, waiting, observing, and perhaps even guiding the path of our exploration. The question is no longer, are we alone? It's, how far does this intelligence extend? What if we are not isolated, but part of a much larger cosmic network, one that exists just beyond the limits of our perception and understanding? The discovery of this artificial boundary pushes us to reevaluate everything we thought we knew about the universe. If this is truly a reaction to Voyager 2's intrusion, it implies that there are forces in the cosmos capable of shaping space-time itself, forces that may have been hidden from us for eons. Voyager 2 has given us a glimpse into a reality that we were never meant to see, and it has left us with far more questions than answers. Are we prepared for what this means? What lies beyond the stars? And, perhaps most importantly, How should we respond to the presence of a force so vast and so intentional that it has waited for millennia to be discovered? This is not just a discovery about astronomy. It is an existential pivot point. We are being forced to acknowledge that the universe is far more complex, interconnected, and deliberate than we ever imagined. The very fabric of the cosmos may be alive with intention, and the forces at work may have been shaping the universe for eons, hidden from our understanding. Voyager 2's journey is far from over, but its encounter with this boundary has already irrevocably shifted the course of humanity's future. We are no longer just explorers of the stars, we are participants in a much larger cosmic drama. And what happens next will determine our place within it. As we continue to push the boundaries of space exploration, we must do so with a renewed sense of humility and caution. Every step forward brings us closer not only to greater knowledge, but also to the unknown forces, intelligences, and realities that may be beyond our comprehension. Voyager 2's encounter with this mysterious boundary serves as a stark reminder that the universe is not a passive entity waiting to be understood. It is a dynamic, living force full of hidden truths, ancient technologies, and intentionality. The discovery of this unknown force challenges the very essence of what we thought we knew about space and about ourselves. The road ahead is unclear. Voyager 2's mission continues and its data is still being analyzed. But the message it has transmitted, the pulse that reverberates through the cosmos, speaks volumes. We are no longer the solitary explorers we once believed ourselves to be. Whatever lies out there is no longer a matter of speculation. It is real, and it is waiting. And now, with Voyager 2's quiet shift, we know it has noticed us. The stars still burn bright in the night sky, but they now carry a new weight. One of warning, of awareness, and of the knowledge that the universe we once thought we understood is far more complex and mysterious than we could have ever imagined. The question is no longer whether we are ready for the unknown. It is whether the unknown is ready for us.